You know it's gonna be a good time when Representative Katie Porter takes out her whiteboard. She loves visuals and she uses them so well. In this case, to fundamentally dismantle AbbVie CEO Richard Gonzalez about the rapidly rising price of certain pharmaceutical drugs. So they say that they have to raise the price because it's expensive to make these. R&D, research and development, is so expensive, they put so much money into it that they have to raise the price. But is that actually the reason? Well, here is Representative Katie Porter.
Mr. Gonzalez, how much did AbbVie spend on litigation and settlements from 2013 to 2018?
I don't have that number offhand. We'll be happy to give it to you.
Okay, $1.6 billion, $2.45 billion on R&D, $1.6 billion in litigation and settlements. What about marketing and advertising? How much does AbbVie spend on that?
Well, marketing and advertising, we spend about $4 billion a year.
Yep, 4.7, 1 billion. How about executive compensation, 2013 to 2018?
2013 to 2018, it's probably on average about $60 million a year.
Try 334 on for size. Now, how much did AbbVie spend on stock buybacks and stock buybacks and dividends to enrich your shareholders from 2013 to 2018?
Well, stock buybacks, if you actually look at just pure stock buybacks, it would be about $13 billion.
Stock buybacks and dividends is the question, sir.
Dividends, I'd have to come back with a number for that over that period of time.
$50 billion.
I think we're gonna need a bigger whiteboard. JR, every time they'd cut to his face, he's just staring, and I hear his inner monologue. It's, oh, fudge. Only he wasn't thinking fudge. As soon as she took out the whiteboard, he must have thought, can I pretend my connection's bad? Can I cut this thing off?
In reality, the only thing he needs to cut is that horrible hair. Anyways, we'll get to other things. How can you be a multi-billionaire, potentially billionaire in this guy's case, and look like that? Sorry, that's my last one. But
JR.
Sorry, I mean, we're gonna play one more clip of her.
Subscribe to his Only Burns. It's rough.
We're gonna get to the rest of Katie Porter in Mortal Kombat style, finishing him. So you'll get a chance to look at what I'm talking about. But every time, like you said, there's this silence, and he's like, should I tell the truth? Because I know she has the answer, or should I say something else so that maybe people won't pay attention to what she says next? It's a whole thought process. It's not about, oh, do I know or do I not know? Because trust me, rich people know exactly how much money they have. They know exactly how much money they have. So.
I'll continue.
It just turned into just trying to figure out, okay, I'm gonna look bad. How do I approach this? It definitely had nothing to do with telling the truth or actually trying to have some kind of accountability or back up your previous statements about what you need to do with research and development. Hell no.
Yeah. So there are two tools that they will generally use, at least in this sort of situation. So one is, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have that number. We'll have to get back to you, knowing that most representatives are as lazy as I was in high school, and they're not gonna look into it. But she already has it, and he knows it. Like when he says, I don't have the number, he's like, you're gonna take out a colored construction paper, aren't you? I know it. You've already got them. Just do your thing. Damn. The other tool that they use is, he knows this video is gonna be clipped out. The tool you're supposed to use, you big dumb, time to sort of mess it up, but he can't do that because he's too depressed. Like he's being owned, so he's just like, I guess three billion. I don't know. Why did I sign on to this? Now, as JR alluded to, she does have a conclusion. She has a point to this. It's not just about the numbers; it's about the lie and what the lie has so far allowed for them. So here is Katie Porter's conclusion.
So, Mr. Gonzalez, you're spending all this money to make sure you make money rather than spending money to invest in, develop drugs, and help patients with affordable life-saving drugs. You lie to patients when you charge them twice as much for an unimproved drug, and then you lie to policymakers when you tell us that R&D justifies those price increases. The big pharma fairy tale is one of groundbreaking R&D that justifies astronomical prices. But the pharma reality is that you spend most of your company's money making money for yourself and your shareholders. And the fact that you're not honest about this with patients and with policymakers, that you're feeding us lies, that we must pay astronomical prices to get innovative treatments is false.
She's 100% right. It's totally true. They know how the system works. They know how to game it. They know what is far more likely to not only make money in the short term for their shareholders, but to artificially inflate what will be their compensation. Sure, you could put the money to try and develop drugs, but you could also just take the money that you've gotten from the massive corporate tax cuts and just buy back the stock to make it seem more valuable than it actually is. And that's what they've been doing. And they, so far, with the law, can do that. Republican president gets in, they cut their taxes, they do the stock buybacks. We see it every single time. But if they're gonna be doing that, then we need to see through the lie about why these drugs, whether it's for Crohn's or for whatever, autoimmune and gastrointestinal illnesses, or when they jack up the price of things like insulin, we can do something about this. Other countries do. We don't need to be bought in by the lie, but unfortunately that's the way that it works. A lot of representatives get money from people like that guy to allow them to do whatever they want. And if it means that people go bankrupt just trying to buy insulin every month, then that's okay by them.
I'm glad you brought up how it connects to Congress people, because that was exactly my point. So this is emblematic of how the reason why Congress just doesn't work well. People just generally don't like it, but they don't even know why they generally don't like it. It's because they don't get anything done. But look at this. There was this whole debate and question and answer section with this CEO to come in and talk about what his company's doing and their R&D and all that stuff. And Katie Porter, as a part of her point making towards him, dismantles him, gives all the facts, talks about what they're really doing and where the money's actually going. Why would she do that, right? The whole point is to then present your case, and then if you have honest actors that are in the same session with you, they would go, man, that is what they're doing. Maybe we should change course. Instead, these people get exposed over and over and over again by people like Katie Porter with whiteboards and truth. And then afterwards, everyone goes, look at how she kicked him all around the hearing, and he is in a bad spot. He's sweating like we're doing right now. And then what happens next Wednesday? We never hear about it again. Policy doesn't change. This guy continues to do what he does. They continue to say the R&D is what they need to raise prices for. And we forget the fact that we just saw for the 18th time that they get exposed for what they're not doing the way they said they're doing. What changes? Nothing. He looks bad and we move on. That's all that happens. Because in reality, after someone picks apart someone who's been lying and stealing money from the American government and all of us, the point is supposed to change course right after that. Why don't we change course? Because everyone who would normally be enlightened by this are like, yeah, he paid me. I'm not voting against changing anything like this. I'm not voting for changing anything like this. Why would I do that? They know how this works. This isn't a news story to them. It's only a news story to Americans who are then supposed to put pressure on them to change course, but we don't do that either. Or the ones that do, it doesn't matter because who really listens to American people?
I think you're almost certainly right. And certainly historically, you were 100% right. I am hoping that every time we do something like this, we remind people of how it works, as you said, that this is about how our politicians get bought off, and that we remind people that this is not just Republicans that get bought in this way from donations from people like that CEO. And hopefully, eventually, we will have less of those people. So the Katie Porter might stand out in terms of her viral videos, but she won't stand out in terms of what she'll vote for and what she won't vote for. We need a lot more Katie Porters on this particular issue. I know, I don't agree with Katie Porter on literally everything. People are pointing out things in the chat and everything. But we do need more like her that are willing to question these CEOs and potentially change the law if necessary. If they're not gonna do the right thing, well, we've got a government for a reason. I don't vote for CEOs. I vote for the government to regulate the CEOs.
And why are they not doing it? Exactly. I mean, if you're an honest politician, which there's no such thing apparently, you hear that and you go, I was on the wrong side of this. I will vote the other way. That's the way debate is supposed to be, right? After a glaringly obvious case of one way has been presented, you're supposed to go, I have no recourse to go back the wrong way because I'm here to represent the American people. If you don't go that way after you see the truth, you are not there to represent the American people, period.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.